welcome our guest, Nikunj.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Hi, Shreyans. I'm very sorry. Yeah, I uh, had some confusion, so I ended up mixing
No.
up the two dates.
So, if everybody can switch on the camera, I would like you to meet Nikunj. Nikunj is a good friend, and also he is the co-founder of Super You. Nikunj, if you could also tell them a bit about your background and what all you've been doing, and then we can do a small, like a podcast kind of thing where we discuss with each other that day.
Yeah, no, for sure. Hi everyone. It's good to meet you all. My name's Nikunj. Born, brought up in Bombay. Studied here. I went to Dhirubhai Ambani School. Then I went to London for 3 years. Did a BSc in management there. Came back from London, joined the family business. Business was into retail, so multiple stores like Big Bazaar, etc. And at that point, we were also building a consumer goods company. So started working within the consumer goods company. Consumer goods is FMCG, so food products, packaged food products. So yeah, worked on that for multiple years. I came back from London in
Example of a brand,
2018.
like of which food product, so they would
Yeah.
know. Uh,
So worked on many food products actually. So everything starting from tea, coffee, biscuits, namkeens, you name it, and we did it. So we used to make our own products, work with different manufacturers. We did biscuits, namkeens, everything. So we used to compete with the likes of Lay's, with Britannia biscuits, in tea and coffee with Red Label, all of these brands. So we did that for a very long time. And then post COVID, I'm very passionate about health and fitness and nutrition, etc. And I always had this, I just wanted to build something in that space. And then post COVID, got an opportunity to do that. So I've now started a brand called Super You, that Shreyansh was mentioning. And the brand is all about, is built on the idea of giving consumers options in food products that have more protein than their counterparts, because we believe that Indians in general end up under eating protein. We eat foods that are very heavy in carbs and fats but very low on protein, and hence just wanted to make a cool brand that would give you good options to protein. We just launched 2.5 months ago, and yeah, lots more to do, and that's the effort. We're going to continue building in that space and doing a lot of fun things there.
so this is the bar. I always have one with me near me. I have it like once in a day always. So it's like super cool.
So the idea was, the product tastes like a Kit Kat, but it's better than a Kit Kat from a health perspective because we don't use refined sugar and we don't use palm oil, and it has 10 grams of protein, and we believe that we're still able to give a very nice tasting product. So whenever you get a sugar craving, you want something sweet, you can just choose to eat this instead of a Kit Kat or a Snickers or a Mars or anything else, because it still satisfies the sweet craving.
Or
Yes.
so I would like to introduce you to the students.
Yeah.
So here is the batch of Skill Titans. So I'll introduce you just short one-liners of each person, what they're working on, what they're doing. So Sarvadnya, he's from Pune. He's working on a RC car, which is for hobbyists. So high-speed RC cars, which he's designed, engineered, and developed himself.
Okay.
That's Sarvadnya. Saira, she's in Mumbai only, Jamnabai school. She's working on like a book club, an online book club for students to get away from, you just the
Phones.
games and all, and to get into
How
books.
old?
Saira, how old are you?
How old are you?
11.
11. Oh wow.
Yeah, and she has over 15K followers on Instagram already, and she's providing books to book reviews on Instagram and getting. Then
Wow.
there is Devansh and Shireen. They both are from Hyderabad. So they're working on e-coir pots, which is like the plastic bags which are around the plants which we buy. They're
Hmm.
that with like coconut coir, which basically disintegrates while buying. Uh,
Super.
yeah, and Tisya is from Mumbai. She is working on Play Me Goes, which is like a play date finder for kids. Uh,
It's
Samyak,
an app.
yeah,
Okay, nice.
yeah. So Samyak is from Pune. He's working for farmers. He's got a farmer's background. He's made a agro track, which is like a wind guessing, wind, soil, moisture, and all tracking machine to provide better insights to farmers.
Mm.
And Ayush is from Darbhanga, Bihar. He is working on a app where students get a voice to share their feedback to the school anonymously. So
Okay,
uh,
nice.
yeah, so they can like provide like feedback without the school knowing that it's them sharing it.
Okay,
Last is Zara. She is again from Bombay. Zara and Shana, sorry. Zara, she's from Bombay. She's building what do you call it? Shower melts. So you can put it in a shower, it'll melt and bring a good aroma around you. She's already sold products around 25,000 rupees ka, and she's also 11, 12.
that's a pretty cool idea, huh?
Yeah, and Shania, she is working on a printing service provider, repairing printers and all in a professional way, building a brand around it. So these are the people, and they're all hungry for knowledge from you. They're like, they
Awesome.
want to learn from you. Ki, you've already built Super You in a very, the marketing, the distribution, the product, everything is fantastic. So they were like, we want to know कैसे किया, कैसे चालू हुआ. So
Sure. So I'll tell you a few things from my side, and then we can just ask questions because that's always easier and that's helpful. So in my experience of brand building, uh, I have I have two three very clear cut learnings that have come my way, and one of them starts with like brand is everything, and you cannot the effort that it goes into designing and building a brand, uh, that process should take time, it should take effort, and it should not happen in a hurry, because whenever you're building that brand and whatever it stands for, it's going to last for a very very long time. So you want to spend that time, think through it very deeply. There's a lot of exercises that people do to understand this, but the closest you can be to what you're building this for and why. So there are these many conversations that you'll see online on why are you building, what are you building, right? I think the better and the more clear the answer is to that, the higher probability of success in general. So if your why is very strong, you'll be able to continue to work on it and it'll start reflecting in your brand, right? So for example, in Super You, the why is we want to give people options to get protein easily. And why do we want to do that? Because we feel that when people eat right and their body gets the right nutrition, you feel good from within. And if you feel good, you will be able to do a lot more in life. Because otherwise, think about this, we eat 3 to 4 meals every day, and how many of us feel that what you eat impacts your mood? Sometimes when you've not eaten, you feel very irritable, angry, not happy. And the opposite also, right? Sometimes when you eat food that's very unhealthy, that's very junk, you feel little not the best, you feel sleepy, you don't feel like doing things, you feel lazy,
RJ?
so on and so forth. Yeah. So, the whole idea was that if you eat well, you'll do well. And if you do well, you'll be happy, right? So that's the why of why we're building Super You. Now, I, I, I think that that whole process of defining the brand is a very fun process. It's a very immersive process, and one should immerse themselves fully into it. It becomes uh, something that you pour your full heart and love into, because then that's a reflection of everything you want to do, right? So I'll tell you a funny story. We had thought of multiple other names before the name Super You. we always wanted to try and keep it simple so that many people can understand it very simply. So if I say the name, you get a feeling of what we're trying to say, right? So we always wanted to keep it simple, but my learning was to keep things simple is very difficult, uh, is not easy, right? And hence kept trying to do different things. We thought of a lot of names. And then one of my colleagues who was involved in this process, we used to spend days, we had blocked time, had hours worth of brainstorming sessions, weren't happy with what we were coming up with. And then eventually, one day at the end of the conversation, somebody just said, why can't it be something as simple as Super You? And it just clicked. And then we knew that, okay, this sounds great. I think it will be in this space of what we're trying to build. And then we did obviously a trademark check, which is very, very important. You have to make sure that from trademark and legal perspective, the brand name is available and legal to use. And we did that, and it was available. And we immediately said, it was one of those things where everyone in the room at the same time said, this should be the name. And that had not happened at all. We were always bickering with each other, saying, no, I like my name that I've suggested, somebody likes the name they've suggested, and we just never could get to a conclusion until we heard Super You. And then we worked with a design agency based out of Delhi, and we told them that this is the personality of the brand. We want to be big, vibrant, out there. And why do we want to be all these things? Because that's what we believe. If you consume the right amount of protein, you feel larger than life, you feel good. And we wanted that to come out. So when the designers started working on it, they obviously took Superman as a reference, because when you think Super You kind of think Superman also. And they tried to build something that showed strength, right? So if you notice the logo, it's big, it's very chunky, it takes the whole space of the product, right? Yeah, if you see the logo that Shreyan has. So the idea was that, and also it's an interesting thing is that it's curved like this, it's inclining like this, it's got an angle. And normally when things are like this, they feel bigger. They so I don't know if you know this hack, but in a lot of fashion stores, when people go to shop, the mirrors, they keep them at a slight angle, because when it's kept at a slight angle, the person standing in the front feels taller and thinner, so it feels like the clothes look better. So it was one of those things where we wanted to give this angle to make it feel bigger. I don't know if you all are familiar with Star Wars, but Star Wars ka jo end mein wo theme track hai na, on how the text moves like this. So it was a resemblance to that. And then obviously red, because red is the color of strength. It resembles that in the best way, so we went with red. And we kept everything else very simple. I'll tell you one more interesting thing about our logo. So the logo, if you notice, the S and the U, right, they cut off, they just about cut off, so they're not complete, right? And the reason for doing that was because we wanted to pass on a message to consumers saying, don't fit inside a box. So live life so large that there's a little bit of you that's always spilling outside. So that was the small idea behind the logo, and that's how we did it. Now coming to product, I'm very, very passionate about product. We did a lot of research into what products are working in the market today, what are consumers saying about it. Now there's two three ways to do this, right? So number one is speak to friends and family, and a lot of friends, extended friends, their friends, right? Number two is you go to the market. So I went to a lot of stores, across cities, and just tried to understood what is the store person saying, like which brand is selling well, which brand is not selling well, why is that the case. Anybody who's at the forefront will have the best information always. So my effort was trying to go to stores and understand, okay, what is it that's working. And the third was we look at a lot of data points. So platforms like Amazon today, you can pull out data. So you can see that product X is selling this much, product Y is selling this much. And numbers don't lie. If a brand is selling, that means there is a consumer somewhere or the other that's buying it. even if they may not be your friend circle or your family circle or whatever, right? And food is a space that is so subjective that we all have our own different kind of tastes, right? Somebody might love McDonald's, somebody might hate McDonald's. Somebody might love Pizza Hut or Domino's, and somebody might say Domino's pizza is the worst pizza, right? But you just have to make sure that there's enough people who like your product. So that was another thing, and numbers don't lie there, right? And then the last layer we used is, okay, we've got an understanding, but what can we bring that's new to the market, that's genuinely new and innovative, that would make people feel like, oh, ye to pehli baar dikha India mein, right? And that we spent a lot of time. I was traveling in America for a bit, and I found some products that were doing very different things. And then we came up with this idea that in India everybody likes crunchy things. So you give people crunchy things and they love it. And hence, why can't we just make that little bit better? Like I was saying, Kit Kat, right? Everybody loves Kit Kat. What's not to love? It's crunchy, it's chocolatey. And we said, okay, can we just add some protein into it? So that was the effort that we put into product. And like I said, even about pricing, we wanted to make sure that it's affordable. So we designed the product in that way, chose ingredients in that way, and then obviously continue to build in that manner. So that's a little bit of how we built the brand. The tenets for us, the principles, values remain the same, which is protein in everything, keeping taste and price at the forefront, and some innovation on format. So that's a little bit about Super You. One exciting part that I forgot to build this. My co-founder on this is Ranveer Singh. I don't know if everyone knows him or does not know him, but very big celebrity, obviously, movie star, and he's also helped us with the marketing. So Shreyan was asking me about like marketing, advertising. I think one of the exciting things, and this was a learning for me, was that sometimes what we look at from a marketing lens today, you know um like, does everyone here have a phone and has gone through reels, etc.? Okay.
Yes.
So we've all seen our habit of reels, right? It's just so fast. No
हाँ.
one is really paying attention. वो ठीक है, 1 2 videos, but if I ask somebody, can you tell me a video you saw 2 days ago, I my guess is you won't be able to, right? Because you've forgotten, because you've
Yes.
already seen so many other things. So what we realized is that only if you do something that's crazy, that's very different, very unexpected, does that leave a mark and an impression on someone's mind. If you don't do that, and if it was just me talking about my product, that look, here's my product, this is why it's good, nobody wants to listen to that. Nobody wants to feel like the old days of advertising on TV, right? So we said that we wanted to do something in a very unique style, and Ranveer has this strong belief on the idea that if you want to do something with content and marketing, it has to be very different. Come karo, that's okay. Instead of trying to put 10 reels out, let's put only 2, and that's okay. But the effort that would go into those 10, 15, let's put into those 2. Because then those 2, even if it's seen by fewer people, the people who've seen it will remember it. And slowly you'll be able to build your brand with those sets of people. So nowadays our effort is, anything we do on content, we want to try and make sure that it's a little bit disruptive, it's a little bit unique, and it's new, so that we're bringing something fresh to the table. So that's one big learning that I've had on marketing and on content.
Awesome. Guys, any questions for Nikunj on top of your mind for your brands? Anything you want to ask? The floor is open.
How did Ranveer Singh directly became your advertiser? How it happened? Can you tell that journey?
Yeah, sure. So
How you collabed with him?
it's a funny story, full of luck and coincidence. Full of luck and coincidence. He lives in the same building complex as me, And like I said, I am an avid sports player. I love playing sports. So I play all sports: cricket, football, basketball,
हाँ.
pickleball, everything. And in the middle of COVID, when every time, like a little bit, I think in 2022, maybe around that time, we started playing basketball together. And even Ranveer loves sports, and he loves basketball as well. He loves basketball, football, cricket, etc. So we started playing a lot of basketball together. And because of that, we became acquainted and became friendly. And then one day, I just had this idea in my head that I think it would be exciting to do something together. And I told him that I have an idea and I think you'll like it. And he said, "Sure, please do send it to me." He's very, very friendly and very, very sweet in that manner. Um, so I sent him the idea, and he reverted to me on WhatsApp in the middle of the night saying, "I love it." And then in the morning, I woke up very excited. And I said, "Okay, great. So now we must do something about it." And then it took us some time, and then we agreed that this sounds like an exciting idea: protein, super you, so on and so forth. And then the rest followed.
Means the company's shares are holded 50-50%.
Yeah, not exactly 50-50, but around that mark. But he is a shareholder in the company. So he's a co-founder. He's not just a brand ambassador uh,
Yes.
for a short-term thing. It's as much his brand as it is mine.
Okay, so lucky thing.
Yeah, yeah, very lucky thing. And it is lucky, of course. But I think
जब
the luck
आइडिया
yeah, it goes into the
हाँ आइडिया अगर अच्छी हुई तो कोई भी साथ देने के लिए तैयार है.
yeah, नहीं बिल्कुल वो तो है ही. But it's about what he also brings to the table, कि वो हम क्या सीख सकते हैं उनसे. And his understanding of brand and marketing is very, very strong. So this learning that कम भी अगर करते हो but impactful अगर करते हो, that is the biggest learning I've taken from him. uh,
Okay.
and it makes a very big difference, and I've seen that. My school of thought used to be different earlier, but it changed after we launched Super U.
But one thing that I really love, the sports के through you all met. So
Yeah,
ऐसा मत सोचो कि like networking is very important. You don't even know when it might fruition or what it might fruition into, but uh, like it would have been crazy to be.
yeah, I agree. And I'll tell you something, Shreyan. When we became friendly, there was no intention that I had in my mind of building the brand with him. And then that just came up one day. It all just happened one day. And then I thought it would be silly of me not to have the courage to ask, you know,
Yeah.
because there were few days when I said, "Today I'm going to tell him," and then I felt shy. And I said, "No, never mind."
It's
And
like asking a girl out, like
yeah, somewhat like that.
yeah, you would be
And then one
scared
day-
to ask, and then
yeah.
you just like, हाँ मैं पूछ लेता हूँ.
But I realized that knowing the answer and knowing a no is better than not knowing,
हाँ.
because then you're always wondering कि what if, अगर ये होता तो क्या होता, और अगर मैं ये
वैसे अगर
बोलता.
हमने किया नहीं सपोज किसी के पास अच्छी आइडिया है तो फिर पूरी जिंदगी वही सोचने में चली जाएगी.
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल. तो
थैंक यू.
मैं भी उसमें ही मानता हूँ.
Awesome. Anybody else, guys? Come on. Ayush, Saira, what's on your minds, Devansh?
I thought Devansh was trying to hide his face with his box.
So they all are wearing a t-shirt where it's written entrepreneur, and
Okay.
a person who jumps off a cliff and then builds a plane on it down.
Oh, yeah, 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 for sure.
Are you
It
sure sharing your screen, Ken? Uh, Ayush,
hmm,
sorry.
no worries.
Shanaya, Saira, Tisha. What's on your mind?
I'll just add one thing to what you said, Shreyan. This whole idea of jumping out of a plane and then figuring it out, I think it's very true. Someone had given me this other example, which is that being an entrepreneur is like riding a bicycle, but riding a bicycle uphill. So you have to keep putting in the effort. It never stops.
Yeah,
It's just non-stop. And the moment you stop,
it's very easy.
slowly you might start going behind, even though you don't realize it.
Going
So
up is very difficult, but coming down is super easy. Like you don't
exactly,
realize and you're going down.
exactly.
So yes.
Sir, this
Very
is
cool
so
t-shirt.
straight.
Very, very cool t-shirt. Shreyan, send me one also.
Done. You already have a Super U red color t-shirt. You have to
Ah,
send the Super U.
I'll wear this also on some days.
Awesome. Yes. Ayush, you have a question? I think
No, sir, not right now.
yes. Anybody else, guys? Come on.
Also, I've been in the space that all of y'all have been in, and sometimes I know everyone feels shy of asking a question. But I promise you, there's no need to feel shy if anyone is, and no question is a smart question or a dumb question. We're just here to have a fun conversation on a Sunday.
Y- Yeah, Tissa.
Oh, like, what if everyone started making leaves? Like, uh, like everyone started to make things like that. Then how will we
If everyone started making what?
like ads? Like you told, ads which remember, like people remember. What if everyone started making that?
Yeah, that's actually a very good question. And I'll tell you something. Even I don't know the answer to that. But I do know one thing, which is that if you keep doing that consistently for a long period of time and stay true to your brand, right? Not copying someone. So, not doing what someone else is doing because it's different, but doing it because you believe in it, then people will still remember your mark, because you can't take away the authenticity in which you build something. You can copy a reel. For example, let's say I did some fun reel, and people can copy that, but they can't copy that ability that I have. So if I do it consistently over a long period of time, you'll still stand out. Sure, in one two cases maybe people copy, maybe people do all these things, and a lot of people do that. But if you just stay true to it and keep doing it for your brand in the style that you have and that you believe in, then consumer will still always take notice and they'll always remember.
Thank you, sir.
Like nobody can ever make one more Tissa because she's consistently same again and
Correct.
again. The personality stays. One
and
question.
and that puts more, you have to put more effort hence into creativity.
One question my brother had is why is it always out of stock? Why is Super U out of stock in Blinkit and Zepto?
Yeah. So we had some so working with quick commerce as a channel, which is a new channel, they work in a very different way. So we always had some challenges with our inventory planning. And in the beginning, and this is a good learning to share with you all, that anyone who's selling a consumer product, I think you had mentioned somebody was selling something like a shower bomb or something like that, right?
Yeah, Zara.
So one of the things with that is, how do you know if 10 people are going to buy, if 100 people are going to buy, or if 1,000 people are going to buy? In the beginning you don't know, so you just take an assumption, and you make an assumption and you put the product out there. Now in our case we were lucky because there were more people who were keen on buying and trying the product than we anticipated, right? And because of that we didn't have enough stock to push into all these channels consistently. Whenever we used to push inventory, it used to sell out very fast. So it was a good problem to have, but it was also a learning that we have to be very agile, because today's world is so fast paced that if you take more than a few days to solve that problem, somebody else will come and take your share. So you have to be able to just be at it and solve those problems very fast, and that has to happen in the way that you design for your brand and your product. So luckily, touchwood, now we are past that stage, so we are not sold out all the time, and it's available, and we're doing very good sales with all three channels. But yeah, that was a big learning for us. I think somewhere or the other, it in a way it also worked for the brand, because when consumers see that it's stocked out, not available so easily, it makes everybody want something they can't have easily. So in some way, I think it also helped. But the fact that we took more than 45 days to rectify it was something that I wish we could have done faster now.
Sir, I want to know what is the cost price and the sales price of a product.
Okay, and these guys, solid questions, huh? Damn good questions. Okay, so I will tell you what I've not told anybody. So don't put this up on the internet. So rupees.
But still, you are spending a lot on the selling price because generally, means not to directly highlight the brands, but when we go to the most selling chocolates, which are some around if they're of 20 rupees, so they just spend 2 to 3 rupees. As in this way, we can directly identify that they are using a type of chemicals in that.
Hmm. So it's not only chemicals. Um, and I'll answer two questions there. So number one, the product cost depends on the ingredients, right? Protein is a relatively expensive ingredient.
Quality.
Correct. Quality and protein in general. So foods that are rich in protein are slightly more expensive than foods that are not in
uh,
general, right? So because of that, the overall cost is a little bit higher. Number one. Number two, we don't use sugar. Sugar is a very, very cheap ingredient. It's very, very it's very inexpensive. Only about 40, 45 rupees a kilo, right? The sweetener we use is 3x or 4x that price. So,
uh,
but we don't want to use refined sugar. It's a
so
consumer claim, right?
so that thing only I liked of your product. That means ऐसे कुछ धोखाधड़ी नहीं है. Reality. Correct.
नहीं धोखा सी धोखा तो इवन अ किटकैट डजंट डू धोखा राइट किटकैट
हाँ,
टेल्स यू एवरीथिंग कि है चीनी है चॉकलेट है अगर आपको अच्छा लगता है आप खाइए अगर नहीं अच्छा लगता है तो मत खाइए तो धोखा तो कहीं से नहीं दे रहे हैं वो लोग उनका उनका ये मानना है कि वो मार्केट है इंडिया में तो कोई ना
हाँ,
कोई तो खरीद रहा है सी द आई टेल यू समथिंग इंटरेस्टिंग nowadays a lot of people see everything online and believe anything that anyone says,
हाँ,
but that's a very dangerous thing because see the word chemical, right? It sounds scary, but there is nothing scary about it. Chemicals are used around us all day every day. For example, if I said I drink H2O, or if I drink water, drinking water sounds normal. Drinking H2O sounds like pata nahi kya pee raha hai,
हाँ,
right? But at the end of the day, they're the same. Mango also has a chemical name. Sugar also has a chemical name. All of these things that exist around us, oxygen is also a chemical. Everything chemicals. Everything chemicals.
Sir, we cannot hear you.
I think your internet या कुछ हो गया. Uh, we can't hear you. We can see your video. Huh.
I can hear you now, but I'm
Yes.
gonna just, yeah, okay, you can hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I was saying about chemicals. I don't know how much you heard.
हाँ,
We heard H2O, like,
Yeah.
H2O के बाद तक.
So the main thing is ki it's not to be fearful of everything. It's to be aware and to know that if eaten in the right quantities, it's okay. So if you eat a Kit Kat or a chocolate here and there, little bit in controlled quantity, there's no harm. But if you now eat 10 Kit Kats in one day, then there's a big problem.
हाँ,
You know? So that's a very important thing that I've also learned, because see what happens online पे fear mongering works. सब चीज के बारे में डरा दो लोगों को, बिकॉज फिर वो शेयर होता है. तो द प्रॉब्लम इज नॉट in the food itself. The problem sometimes happens because companies don't say the right things. They market it differently than what the product is. But if we all just see the product and understand that, okay, fine, this is a chocolate, I like to eat a chocolate, I'll eat it only once in a while, then there is no problem in a chocolate. But if you eat it like 10 times a day, then it's a very big problem. There's a line that I remember someone had told me which stuck with my head. They said the devil lies in the dose. So I'll give you a small example. Nowadays, a lot of people say palm oil is bad for you.
हाँ,
Uh, a lot of these influencers online who are nutritionists and all, they will not be able to tell you exactly why palm oil is bad for you. And I can tell you scientifically that palm oil is neither good for you nor bad for you if consumed in the right quantities. It's like many other oils, right? But if you eat too much of it, then it's not good for you.
hmm. Means generally we can say that everything should be in a limit. If we cross
Yes.
our limit, it would be harmful.
If it's packaged foods, like, and I sell a packaged foods brand, but we tell our consumers eat only one a day. Because
हाँ,
why should you get more protein from outside? Your main protein source should still be your food that you eat every day.
yes.
Our product is just better than eating that chocolate. I'm not trying to say that you rely on my product for protein, but eat it once in a while. Don't feel guilty about it. Enjoy it because it tastes good. You're getting protein, so that's a benefit. You're not getting refined sugar, that's a benefit. But don't eat more than one a day. Eat one a day, it's fine. It's a good habit.
हाँ, thank you.
Sir, what do you use as your what do you use as your protein in the protein bars? What
Yeah.
are
So we use two sources of protein. So number one is we use milk protein, so dairy, very straightforward. And number two, there's a new technology in the world. It's called fermentation, where we ferment yeast. Do you know what yeast is? Yeah, okay. So yeast is the single cell organism. So we ferment yeast, and when that yeast gets fermented, it creates a biomass which is rich in protein, and we extract the protein from that. Now, why do we do this? Two reasons. One is that the fermentation process makes the protein good for the gut, and it makes it light, so it's easy to digest and so on and so forth. And the second thing is that it's a very high efficacious source of protein. I don't know how to explain that without going too much into the science, but how effective a protein is, right, is measured on a scale of 0 to 1. A protein like an animal protein, like milk wala protein, has a score of 1, which means it's very effective. Plant sources like dal, right, they vary between a zero point 0.6 to zero point 0.8.
Okay.
Ours fermented protein is unique because even though it's vegan, it's still got a score of 1. So it's a very efficacious form of protein. So that's why.
Means it's Means it's non-veg.
No, it's vegetarian.
Okay.
It's vegetarian, but it has the same protein strength as
Ah,
milk
milk.
or other non-vegetarian sources of protein also.
Okay.
Sir, what all flavors do you have?
We do chocolate, chocolate peanut butter, strawberry, and cheese. Cheese is very unique. If no one's tried it, do try it sometime. And we're launching a new one now on March 15th, which is coffee.
5 days away
Which
from
one
it.
sells the most?
Um,
Chocolate.
Good question again. So, strawberry and chocolate sell the most.
New one.
But I'll tell you something interesting. People are very hesitant to try cheese because it sounds like pata nahi kaise hoega, kya hoega. But our highest repeat rates are on cheese
Yeah,
because the people
I
who
also
like it, they love it.
I also heard cheese and I was like, cheese on protein bar, like what?
Yeah. So it's different, and this is what I was trying to say. Like this whole idea of doing little bit unique things. It goes across everything: content, branding, product. Because see, if I do something unique, like today, Devansh was like, "Oh, what is cheese?" But maybe he will go and talk to someone about it, right? They do something like cheese. Now that for me is free marketing. If Devansh goes and talks to someone, it's free for me, right? Versus if it was just chocolate, then everyone's had it. Yeah, there's nothing so new. So why would you talk to your friends about it? So that's that word of mouth marketing is a very good source of marketing for us.
So,
Yes.
do you like plan your word of mouth, or is it like it just happens because of these unique factors? Because there are a lot of companies like, say Ayush's company. He's just completely like dependent on word of mouth. Like when a student refers to another student, only then he would get reviews. So how can someone like create these word of mouth unique factors if they
Yeah.
wanted to think about it?
So I think there's two things, right? One is organic. So let's take an example of Apple, right? I love the product so much that I talk to my friends about it. And sometimes I even tell them ki no, you buy Apple only because look at the camera, look at this, look at that, right? That for me is the ultimate word of mouth, that customer loves your product so much that he goes and talks about it, right? That's number one. The second, and if you are able to do that with good product and some uniqueness, some newness, then consumers they'll talk about it. Now, I understand that this varies from category to category. For example, if I use, let's say for Intel, the consumer may not know also what the software chip being used inside is. So, how will you talk about it? You will not talk about it. So, there obviously it's very different because their market is business to business, it's B2B, right? But in general, if it's a consumer facing business, if the consumer loves your product, they'll organically talk about it. The second is a lot of companies do referral programs. For example, if you bought my product for 100 rupees, if you tell your friend about it and they buy, then you will also get 10 rupees discount for any next purchase, and your friend will also get 10 rupees discount. So both of you benefit. So there's an incentive for you to go and tell your friend about it. So there are some programs like this that people keep creating for to drive referrals. But I can tell you one thing: nothing works better than organic.
Hmm.
Nothing.
But
So
just one doubt in that, that if we sell a product for 100 rupees and when we told our friend about that, then next time how can we get rupees 10 discount?
so because of technology, you can do that nowadays. I can give you a discount code, and if you shop online, you just put that discount code, and you will get your product the next time you buy it with a 10 rupee discount.
Okay.
Like if you go on Swiggy app, Swiggy, Zomato, whichever, right? They always have this section where you can put a code and get a discount.
Yes.
So you can anytime you can go and you put that thing and they'll give you a discount if you refer to a friend.
Okay.
Sir, I have one question. I love the sound of your product. It sounds very interesting. But why would anyone choose to buy your product specifically when there are many other protein bars like the whole truth or the protein bars?
Yeah.
I think you
Okay.
should
No
try it,
offense
Saira.
meant.
Saira, I think you should try it. Find
No,
out.
but very good question, huh? So I'll tell you why I think people would buy it and why people have been buying it. So I think when you look at why do people buy, right? Um, First, because they've been made aware of a product. So let's take the example of Syra. Syra did not know about Super U, and hence you may not have ever thought of buying it. But because of my ad or marketing or something, you know about the brand now. You know that something called Super U exists in the world. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm not interested, but I know that this exists. Okay. The second is that Syra's interested in buying a chocolate or a protein bar, right? And because of that, Syra's now going to think, okay, I want to buy this product. Now, which brand should I buy? When it comes down to which brand do I buy, you will obviously think, okay, these are the brands that I know of. So Max Protein, Fab, Whole Truth, Super U, something new. You'll now think that, okay, I know of this brand. And the last thing is when you're deciding which one you should buy, there are 3, 4 factors you look at. So, number one, because it's a food product, how does it taste? Because we all care about taste. Number two would be how expensive or inexpensive is it? So, if I want to buy 10 bars, is it going to cost me 500 rupees, 1000 rupees? How expensive and what's my budget for it? Right? And number three nowadays is everything else. I like the brand. It sounds cool. It feels cool. It must. I like it. I resonate with it, and that's why I want to buy it. Right. Um, so on all those accounts, sometimes people might choose to buy one brand or the other. And I forgot to mention one very important thing here. There's a line that people use in sales, which is "Jo dikta hai, wo bikta hai." Right.
Yes, I know my father just told me that yesterday.
Yeah. And what does that mean? That let's say if Saira goes to a store, let's say you went to a Nobel chemist, and Saira's decided that I want to eat something, and now what should I eat? Now, when you're making that decision, you will choose to eat something that is available for you to buy, to choose from. So, for example, if Super U was not there only, there is no way you could have bought it. But if Super U is there, then there's a chance you might think of buying it because you've seen it, right? So I think that is very, very important, that if the brand is visible and they're available at all the right places, then there's a higher probability of consumers purchasing it. In fact, that's the first reason to be able to purchase, right? It should be available to purchase. And even there, what we focus on is how do I make it very easily available. So today, if you wanted to go to a Nobel chemist and buy Super U, it's there. If you wanted to go on Blinkit, Zepto, Instamart, it's there. If you wanted to go on my website and buy from seeing an Instagram ad, it's there. If you choose to, like, you believe that some customers say, no, I only shop from Amazon because I trust Amazon and I buy everything from there. So Super U is there. So my job from the brand is to ensure that wherever the customer is shopping from, they should be able to purchase my product. Got it.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Samarth Agarwal, co-founder of Vibahan. I just had a question. So, like, in your ads, there's a very catchy and energizing song behind every one of your ads. So, like, it's like a title track of yours. So, I just wanted to know, so, like, our brand is of carpets. So, how, like, as soon as I got to know that you were taking a session of ours, that song immediately clicked in my head, and I got reminded of your brand. So how exactly do we do that for our brand? So like for you, it was a song that was catchy and energizing. But like for us, it's a luxury brand. It's for carpets. So how do we like do that in ours?
Yeah. So I'll answer that in two ways. So my first question to you rather than an answer would be, do you need a song? And the answer to that has to come from what is your brand about. So for example, when you think of luxury and you think of luxury carpet and whatever, luxury has a very different tonality. It's very muted, it's very calming, it's not very loud, so on and so forth, right? So if you think of brands, and depends on the category, of course, right? So when you think of beauty, because beauty is associated with self care, it's often got to do with your own time, personal time, so on and so forth. And hence it's always got a very soothing, it's very soothing sounds, very soothing music, and so on and so forth, right? And that's if you go to a very expensive hotel, the song and the music that plays in the lift, it's very in that space, because it makes you feel like you've come to some luxurious hotel, right? Now, one is that important for you? The reason why we chose to have something energetic was because we knew that protein, like I said in the beginning, my brand is about making you feel full of life. And when you hear that song, you feel full, you feel like, oh, kuch karna hai. You want to do something, you feel energized, you feel energetic. And even Ranveer is known for his energy, right? So we wanted to bring that, and that's why we chose a song like that. So you have to see what is perfect for your brand, and hence choose what music will go very well with it. Now here's the interesting story. In our song, and a lot of people have told me that when they hear the song, there's one part of the song that's a little bit catchy. And that catchy part is when the song goes, Super You. And that part of the
Yes.
song is actually not, that wasn't there in the lyrics. We had not designed for it. When we finished the song, the original track just had a tung tung tung, like it was a instrument. When Ranveer heard the song, he thought that it would be a very cool idea if instead of that it said Super You. And again,
So
everyone
the
loved it.
name also gets stuck in your head, right?
Exactly. And it was one of those creative genius ideas, very small thing, but made a very big difference. Because when people hear the song, there is that little bit that sticks. It's just it's nice to say it, it's fun to say it, it's different. Even I don't know truly why it works, but I know that it's fun.
No,
So
because there are very less brands also which have like their own songs currently because Instagram usually uses trends, right? So only the songs which are trending usually come up on ads. And
correct.
for you, it's your own title track.
Yeah. So we got a little bit lucky that, like, otherwise, that's the thing about creative efforts, right? That you just have to keep trying. It's very, very hard to gauge and say this one will be the most successful song. The biggest songwriters, the best songwriters, Adele, Arijit Singh, anyone you name, Eminem, they all don't have a higher hit rate of 20 to 25%. So in all the songs that they've ever made, only one in four or one in five become hits. And that's just the nature of the industry, of the beast. So we got a little lucky with that.
Thank you,
Amazing.
sir.
Great. Before we end, can we all have like a picture where everybody switches on their video? Devansh, you can ask a question after this. So if everybody can switch on their video and we can all click a picture together with Nikunj. Guys, Shireen, Lakshya, Shanaya, Samarth, come on. You guys also switch on your video. Okay, Divya. Okay, so we're all going to do a thumbs up. Is that okay? Or a yo, kaun sa karna hai? Which
Thumbs up
one?
also works.
Thumbs up works? Chalo, ready. Okay, three, two, one, thumbs up. Awesome. Got it. Thank you so much for enlightening us. It was I
Oh
learned
yeah.
more than anything.
Sir, at which all
Yeah.
platforms can we find your Super You?
Devansh, pretty much everywhere. So Blinkit, Instamart, Zepto, our own website, which is www.superu.in, Amazon, Flipkart, a store close to you, depending on where you stay.
Sir, but Blinkit is not available near us.
So where do you stay?
Pune, near Spine City Mall.
Okay, so maybe check the others. Is Zepto and Instamart available near you?
No, Zepto also not.
Maybe
Okay,
Amazon will to come for sure. I think.
Amazon or our website, both of them will deliver within a day.
Also, when are you planning to go global?
Ah, so um, we are planning to start in the Middle East by May, because we've got a lot of demand from there. So we're starting in Lulu's. It's a very big retail chain in the Middle East. So that's one that we're exploring, and we'll most likely start by May. The second depends on product. So we're looking at a supplement powder as well, protein powder, which we're planning to launch in June. And because that product is very new and different, we're planning to launch that in the US market as well. And we plan on doing that in hopefully by September, October.
Okay.
Sir,
So
can
within
we discount?
2026, it would become a worldwide company.
I hope so.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you. I appreciate
Sir,
it.
can we
Welcome.
have a discount?
Sir,
So,
I actually had one question.
yeah.
Suppose if we're expecting suppose X amount, if you were expecting a 50 lakhs, but you actually got less than that. What about you are 30 lakhs? So how will you deal with it?
No, so is your question that if I do lesser sales than I planned, how do you deal with it?
Yes. Yes. So how do you deal with it?
I I go to cry. I cry a little bit. Okay, but jokes aside, see, I think I'll tell you something interesting. A number, right? 50 lakhs, 60 lakhs, 70 lakhs, 80 lakhs. All of these are just numbers. This is what we in just business and parlance, we call these as output metrics. Output metrics is kya hua, right? But what we focus on is input metrics. Input metrics are aap kar kya rahe ho. For example, to get your sales, what all are you doing, right? By saying you want to do 50 lakhs, we won't be able to do 50 lakhs. How will I be able to do 50 lakhs? I'll be able to do 50 lakhs of sale if I do marketing for my product. Now, within marketing, we break everything down. Posting so much on Instagram, running these many ads, spending X amount of money, making my product available in all stores, making sure that my product is displayed well. For example, if you go to Noble Chemist and Super U is not visible, right, then you won't buy it. But if it's visible, then you might consider buying it, right? Then the marketing inside the store. What am I doing with the teams of the store? All of these things combined, right? Um, become input metrics. Everything I'm doing to achieve my sale. Now, sometimes what we do might lead to slightly lower sales or sometimes slightly better sales. But we don't get happy or sad about the number. So if instead of 50 lakhs we did 45 lakhs or 55 lakhs, it's the same thing for us. But the key is that whatever you're doing from an effort, that has to consistently keep building. And you have to keep doing that, keep doing that, keep doing that. The number will follow. The better the input, the better the output. Simple. And this is a life theory. It's the food theory as well, right? You put good stuff inside, what will come out of you will be better. You put good stuff into your in your brain, what will come out will be better. Anything is all about
Yes.
better input equals better output. Simple.
Sir, just can
Thank
you
you,
tell
sir.
that Sir, just can you tell that how many sales did you generate till now?
Hmm. Okay, yes, I can, but again, don't put this anywhere out there.
Still in 2.5 months, you growed very well.
Yeah, yeah. We've grown decently well. We've gotten some things right and a lot of things that we need to improve on as well. So like I
Yes.
said, me and my entire team, the focus is only what do we need to do. So I'll tell you, somebody asked Dhoni, everybody knows Dhoni, I'm sure, MS.
Huh.
So somebody asked him this question that what do you do about how do you stay so cool, why do you never get stressed, and all of those things, right? And the answer to that he gave was brilliant. He said, I only think about what's in my control. What can I do? What am I capable of doing? I only think about that. What the output will be out of that, winning a game or losing a game, and so on and so forth, I don't think about that because that is not fully in my control. So, whatever is in your control, whatever the input matrices are, focus on that and keep doing that. Whatever is not in your control, don't don't worry too much about that because you can't do much to influence it. For example, can you influence whether or not it will rain today? You
No.
can't. So, but if it does rain, then there are chances that my sales will be slightly lower because people will not go to stores or whatever. But now I can't factor that in, right? So I'll just focus on what all I can do to get sales. Everything else is a outcome.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Lot.
Sir, so I
Ayush?
have a question.
Yeah, Ayush.
Yeah, so sir, uh, the super user, it is basically based on the community engagement, right? So the word of mouth, the marketing is indirectly or indirectly uh, making a community of people who are using your things. So, what's the best way to build an active student community for our startup students? Like it's a platform for students to share their opinions, and their experiences about their schools, and also it is giving them a voice to share their views, their thoughts without revealing their identity. In yeah, so that's my
Okay.
question.
So Ayush, I think it's there's two ways again, like what I'd said. See, if your product, see, communities already exist. Are you all on WhatsApp and stuff?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
okay, if you are on WhatsApp, do you have groups with friends and all of that?
Yes, sir.
Lots of them who spam.
Yes, sir.
Lots of them, right? That for me is community, right?
yeah,
Now, let's say that if Ayush loves Super You, for example, right?
yeah,
Ayush will go and put it on his group,
yes,
and then so many people will talk about it or read about it, right?
yeah,
Now, that for me is community building. And that will happen if people love your product or your branding or your marketing or whatever. That's what they'll speak about, whatever they like the most, right? I think I'm not sure that you need to create other platforms because creating platforms is very, very difficult. And there's a lot to this, so I don't want to go into too many details. But just to put it simply, I would think more about how do I leverage existing platforms. So
uh,
people talk. We all love to talk to each other. We all love, we're social beings. We all love to talk to our friends about everything. For example, if a
yeah,
movie is good, we put it on our group saying, "Oh, I saw this movie, bahut acha tha, jaake dekho." For movies not good,
yeah.
also we say the same thing. So I think communities exist. How do we tap into them in smart ways is what one needs to constantly think of.
Yeah, so the things that are always shared in the groups, like about the school, the flaws, the things that are ignored uh, by the teachers, by the schools. Like something happened in the school, but the students like are they are just asking about that in the school, but they have no answers, no responses. They are just ignoring, or sometimes happen some type of these things that students want to share, but they don't have any platform. And if their identity revealed, then the school starts, discriminating them. So our platform just does that without revealing their identity. Like it's fully anonymous. Their identity will not be shared with anyone. And their school groups are there. For every and each school, a student can add their school right there after filling a form, and they can add it. Then all their friends can come and write their experiences, their thoughts about their school, their reviews, their ratings, all things are there. So they can do. But the real question about that, the community engagement, there are students, but mainly the thing that we are not taking up that how to reach them as much as possible. It's my question.
How to reach the students?
Yeah, mainly, yeah, majorly.
Okay. Again, I mean, I don't have a straight answer, but I think the best way to reach students is through channels that they currently use. So let's say social media, different
Yes.
platforms that students use, communication channels like WhatsApp, and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. If you're asking how do you build that out in a way that people can be anonymous and stuff, I think it's got to do with tech and tech
No, he just
products.
built it. He just needs to make it reach to people.
Okay. I
That's
think,
challenges.
yeah, I think the best way to do that is to start small within the niche, go and pick one school, find people there, start getting it done. It's like when you think about how Mark Zuckerberg had started Facebook, right? It started in one university, then went to another university, and then three, four universities, and then people started talking about it, and then it spread very, very fast. So I think that's potentially a good way, but I'm not sure if that answer is helpful or not.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nikunj, for giving your time on a Sunday. Sorry for disturbing you.
No, 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 not at all. Yeah, sorry. From my part, I mistook it for Monday. I, in fact, had it on my calendar for Monday.
Okay.
So I made a mistake. But
Eh,
good. Anyway, I'm very happy we got to do this.
But thank you so much for coming. And I hope to, if the students have any more questions, I'll redirect them. I'll share the message to you what questions they have.
Yeah, I'll be happy to. By the way, when Shreyan addressed me, introduced me, he said I'm his friend. And I am his friend, but Shreyan is also like an inspiration for me. He's one of the most unique kids that I've ever come across in my life. So I forgot to mention this when we started.
Chalo. Thank you so much for that.
Super. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Bye
Have a
bye,
good day.
you guys.
Bye.
Everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Bye,
you.
sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
So, bye.